Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Ravens Quick Draw Thursdays with Tarot by Janine. I'm Tarot by Janine. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. You can join me at my community. This is my website, tarotbyjanine.com. If you want to support the work I do for the price of a latte, you can get 2 news reports a week, a big zodiac spread once a month. And personally, my favorite thing about it is the community section where so many great supporters of mine actually share really interesting information. A lot of my questions come from my community page. These people are on it digital soldiers in this community. So you want to come on over and join the community. Okay, and you are on Beyond Mystic, the Rumble version of Beyond Mystic here. And you want to make sure you're subscribed. And also, we are now simulcasting, is that what it's called? Simulcasting on the Beyond Mystic 003 YouTube. Okay, because we got back some YouTube leverage here. So here you go. We were banned off YouTube. I was for a really long time. And Jean-Claude kept getting his YouTube. That's why it's 003 kept getting his YouTube channels taken down. So anyway, we're back on here. We're going to see how far that takes us and see what happens. So make sure if you're watching from here, make sure you're subscribed here as well. Great content coming to you from all of those ways. Okay, so today I got a fairly complex and really disturbing sort of thing I want to talk about, what's going on in Iran. And I'll start by saying on my world news that I did for my people on the Tarot by Janine, so my followers that follow me on my website, I did a bit of a deep dive on it, and some surprising things came up about what's going on in Iran. So the little bit we're hearing, because of course for 100 days or maybe even more than that now, their internet's been taken down by their own regime, like the Islamic regime that took over Iran. And by the way, most people who live there weren't okay with it, right? So they've been repressed under this regime for a really long time, in particular women, okay? It fascinates me that all of these liberal women in the West are going after ICE agents just doing their job, when really they're not even noticing what's been going on in Islamic countries and how repressed and abused and just the horrific treatment of women in those countries just never ceases to amaze me. Coco, would you mind putting up that little meme I sent you about women and how they're feeling about the regime there? Yeah. Okay, so that's coming out of Iran. And it's like, hardly anyone talks about that here in the West. And it's outrageous to me, okay, that they would even support anything Islam. Okay, I'm sorry to say, okay, because it seems to me it was created by the demonic, section of the world here. The whole religion just to oppress, in particular the feminine. Always the demonic and the satanic loves to repress the feminine. Okay, so I believe, by the way, all organized religions, if they weren't created by that group, they were taken over. Let's say, I was going to say infested. Yeah, so that's probably a better word, by that group, and taken over and used to repress people. So in my humble opinion, anybody who doesn't think for themselves spiritually and believes doctrines to the letter, maybe they got to rethink their way they're thinking. Okay, that feels really unevolved thinking. Like we are all spiritual energies emulating God, goddess, through us, through our being, our soul energy, but we need to connect to it personally. I think we're all going to learn this in this, what's going on here, what's going on in the world. We're evolving, I think, to all catch up to that. that ideology. We're going to leave behind organized religion. I really believe that, and some of what we're going to look at today, we're going to ask about that. But I just wanted to tell you guys that what I got on my my world news was that what's going on in Iran, it appears like the regime is being torn down by the people themselves. Thank goodness. And a lot of those people believe that's what's happening. But what I actually got was that regime is a capitulated government playing out as part of the theater of politics that's going on all over the world. And the White Hat Alliance is actually in charge in the background. And what happened was, like, they need a way to take down these governments, and they need a way to publicly appear like the governments are coming down. And they also need a way to fight the actual ongoing deep state war, or the war against demonics, deep staters. I call them deep staters, but really we're talking about the cult and the energies and entities that have been enslaving humanity. So at the risk of sounding crazy pants, okay, what's really going on in Iran looked like in the cards that something else was actually killing a lot of the protesters. And somebody actually made a comment early on when I was just getting ready for the show, and we're going to show that comment here. And I thought that was exactly what I wanted to mention today. Maybe Coco can put that comment up. No, the comment, Coco, remember, from one of the viewers? Yes, that one there. So a forensic expert in Iran drops a bombshell saying the deaths of protesters are not caused by the Iranian government. Okay, so I showed that film on my World News, on my channel, on my website. And in fact, when I read on it, it looked like sniping was going on by a group completely different with really advanced weaponry that wasn't anything like what the weaponry would be with the regime. The regime has certain kind of weapons and a certain tactic. And like this doctor was indicating in that, there's a post I shared on all my social medias about it. In fact, like they're using different advanced weaponry, and what's really killing thousands of people who are out protesting. Okay, so upwards of 2,500 people already dead. Okay, and maybe more by now, because that was a few days ago. And what's happening is they're coming up from under or inner earth is what I actually got. It's horrifying, actually. And yeah, it was kind of scary. And it's like the war that we're all fighting. So we're in a world war, as you guys probably know if you've been watching me for a while. We're in a world war. We're in it used to be silent. It's definitely not as silent as it was, but it's absolutely a spiritual war, and it's absolutely a war against evil. Okay. And Trump heads a group, the White Hat Alliance, I believe, and I believe he still does. And I don't believe the stories that he's been swapped out for a bad Trump. I don't believe any of that. The cards never agree with that. Okay, he's still head of a group that's fighting against this evil. And this war actually showed itself in Iran, and that's who's actually killing a lot of the people. And it isn't actually the regime. Oh, and I'm not saying the regime doesn't need to come down. It's publicly being torn down, and that's a good thing. Okay, so that's actually what I got, and there was more to it. And I'll be discussing it probably with Jean-Claude on the Thursday Rumble Beyond the News. So you want to watch that if you're not on my tarotbyjanine.com. Now, the question today, though, so I'm going to segue over, and here's my question. It's a little different. The Iranian people are burning down the institutions and are overturning the Islamic Republic. And that's what it appears they're doing. And they are, and a lot of them believe they're doing that. Could the bank crash in Iran cause a contagion in the Western world? And if so, what is the timing? So we want to look at that, because a big part of what we're seeing is that the banks are collapsing. Okay. And of course, we were told, and anybody following Q and Q drops and et cetera, that things would start in the East and then move their way to the West. So it's I think, a good and valid question. So is this the beginning of what we're going to see here in the West? a contagion, as it were. Let's have a look. And things are so complex now, hey? So complex. Wow. So we've got major arcana cards. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Okay. The Empress here. Major arcanas always indicate a yes, unless it's the devil, sometimes the devil. So it gets trickier when the devil shows up, or the death card. But anyway, we don't have those cards. We've got some other cards here. We've got the Judgment in the past. So that's interesting because that's in the past already. So I feel like a lot of these banks have already come down. Okay, so I think they've been covering up for a lot of banks that already came down. I feel like a lot of things have already happened in the past, and we're playing them out for the public to notice or see. Okay, because there's a lot of people kind of sleeping through their life and not noticing things until they literally go on the news. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this group are not those sleepers, thank goodness. So I'm happy to be here with you guys. You know what I mean? It's nice to be talking to people that are more aware. Okay, so it does look like they're already down, but yes, that's how it's playing out. And yes, this is going to come. You bet. I'd even say in the next month. We've already got, so it's setting up for in the next month. So that would go with the timing in the next month, because aces are within the next month. Okay. And here we've got the Three of Swords, and that's aspecting it. So what's going to happen in the next month? The coming down of, and I think three major banks. So we got 2 3s around that ace. So 3 major banks in the West are going to come down in the next month. And I feel like all of this is just for the public, because I believe there's already a new system ready to go in the background. White Hat Alliance, they've designed it a long time ago. It could have even been running alongside the old one. It's going to help things not be so chaotic when things do crash. Okay. And of course, if you're watching silver, and of course the movement of gold as well, but in particular silver, and there's a big reason why silver is going to be a big part of the banking crash. Okay, but I feel like they've already planned for all of it, and that's why it won't be as devastating, but there will be ramifications. People will see, some banks will close you out of your bank accounts. At least that's what the cards have been saying. And for some time, you might not be able to, spend like actual cash money, well, maybe cash money, but you won't be able to spend with your bank cards and money cards. Okay, so things could get a little crazy. And we've been saying that, talking about that, and seeing that for a really long time. So it's still a good time to have supplies on hand, a little extra food, I'd say a couple of weeks extra. And, like that time, we could be really close to that time. All right. Wow. Things are getting crazy. 2026 already. Things are crazy. By the way, we've got a great new addition to our team here, Astrid. She's our new astrologer, and she put this out, this 2026, if you want to see how she does the work she does, the predictions with Astrid. She's done all of the zodiac signs, and you can buy them sign per sign, or you can buy the whole lot. And, maybe even share with your friends the different various signs, but amazing. Okay. And I had a reading, like she did me a public reading, and we did that because we wanted to showcase how she does her work. Okay. And I was brave enough or crazy enough to let her look at my aspects in my birth chart. So if you want to know more about me and or watch how Astrid, or both of these things, how she works, go on over and watch this. This is on, I think it's on all the channels. I think it's on the Rumble. It's also on the web, or the YouTube. Yep. So yeah, you want to go check that out. She decodes my transits. So it's pretty interesting. And by the way, she was dead on accurate. It's like almost, well, embarrassing sometimes and really funny some other times. So you might want to go check that out. Yeah, she's good. Now, also, this is fun. I've been waiting a long time for these t-shirts. Finally, we're getting some of those crazy Janineism t-shirts here. This is the absurd one. That's absurd, because you guys know I say that a lot. So anybody who's been watching me for a while, they might want to get themselves one of these. That's on, I think, where is that? Is that on, that's on, let me see. It's Beyond Mystic, but it's on a website that's not Beyond Mystic. Coco, you want to chime in here? Ascension Organites. That's right. That's where you want to go get this, at Ascension Organites. And there's so many good things on that website, by the way. Yeah. She works with us on Beyond Mystic, and she created this t-shirt for us. Yeah. Yeah, we love her. We love Carla. Okay. Now the second part of my question, it's kind of a part two to what I was talking about here, and it's pretty it's a pretty big one here. Is this the beginning of the death of Islam, the religion Islam? Again, I believe was created specifically to keep people really, really unevolved. Really, look at their like doctrines. It's scary. It was obviously created by an evil force, and certainly a force that despises the feminine. Okay, so can't fathom that. I mean, all of these people forcing women to dress in full burqa, etc., and treating them like less than their animals. Okay, are in fact birthed from a female body self. So, in what universe does that, create you treating women badly? And the whole culture centered around rape culture, like it's absurd, and it's disgusting, frankly. But anyway, okay, so is this the death of Islam? And it was reported a long time ago in Cliff High's webbot data that this would be on the timing as well, because we know Cliff's good. Some doesn't always get the timing. The cards don't always get the timing either, right? But Cliff's been talking about it for a while, that the death of Islam was coming. And we also want to know, will other organized religions follow? Okay, so I'm rooting for that to be the case, but let's have a look at, is this the beginning of the death of Islam? Because all you got to do is read their doctrine to know this is not something that was created by any kind of real spiritual energy. Okay, yeah. And don't really care if I'm offending anybody. Don't really care. Okay, because you're not doing your research if you think it's okay what these guys are up to. Okay, so let's have a look. It's literally like a cult, literally. And a bad one too. So let's see. And pretty much all organized religion, in my opinion, goes to that. I just don't, I'm not buying any of it. People need to actually evolve to personally, spiritually connect to their God, goddess. You spiritually, it comes through you personally. It's part of you. Okay, it's not outside of you. You don't need a go-between. You don't need somebody writing a doctrine and you following it. All of that is really naive. Think about it. As we evolve, we start thinking for ourselves, feeling for ourselves. That's where humanity has to go. We got to stop blindly following doctrines, because they've all been manipulated. They wouldn't be allowed to be around still, because we've been enslaved for so long. They wouldn't be allowed. If they allowed a doctrine that was really good for you, okay, does that make any sense? That wouldn't be good for them, okay? So the overlords wouldn't have let that fly. So they've manipulated all of those doctrines, right? So if you're blindly following a doctrine, you got to give your head a shake and wake the hell up. Okay. So here we've got the 5. So interesting. I wouldn't say it's a big, resounding yes. I think there's going to be a lot more happen before that. Okay. And I think a lot of people are going to wake up with this, but not necessarily completely fall. There's still going to be people that absolutely hang on. It's going to take longer. So this 6 tells me there's going to be a lot more go on before it completely falls. Okay. There's so much more to be revealed here, and so many people that will resist. Okay, because we've been so indoctrined as a humanity. Okay, so there's still a lot more fight here. Okay, but it's the beginning of, and putting the cracks in it for sure. And maybe some of these normies will wake up a little bit to it, but it's going to be in degrees, and it's going to take a lot longer, unfortunately. So it's not right around the corner, but we're moving our way towards it. Thank goodness. These kind of things, a change that big takes time. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Don't forget tarotbyjanine.com. If you like the work I do, come on over and join my community. Also, YouTube. So Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic YouTube. Number 3 channel here. You want to check that out, or make sure you're subscribed over there if you enjoy watching from YouTube. And as well, the Rumble channel. You're on that right now. So you want to make sure you're subscribed, and do like and share. If you enjoyed the video, do like and share it. It really helps. Thanks so much again. Bye-bye.